Welcome to the Digital Customer Experience Podcast by Kiosk. I'm thrilled to bring you stories, insights, and expert opinions on the ever evolving world of digital customer experience. Today, we're delighted to have a very special guest, Maria Yazdi, the head of customer service at Apotek Hjärtat. Maria brings a wealth of experience to the table with an impressive 13 years at Apotek Hjärtat, where she has been an instrumental in shaping the customer service strategy. In today's conversation, we'll delve into how digital transformation is reshaping customer experiences, especially in the context of Apotek Hjärtat, which boasts a strong foundation with over 400 physical pharmacies. Maria will share her insights on the evolving role of digital customers and digital channels engagement and how they're working towards creating an omni customer experience, seamlessly integrating digital and physical realms without making customers choose one over the other. So let's dive in and learn how Apotek Hjärtat is navigating this exciting digital journey while staying true to their roots in the physical world. Welcome to our podcast, Maria. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I'm very fine. Happy to be here.
We are so happy to have you. And because Apotek Hjärtat is such a big company in Sweden, and Sweden reminds me of two different things. One is music, and the other one is sports. So people are very passionate in Sweden with regards to both music and sports. Are you into any one of them? Do you like music? Do you like sports?
Yeah, I like both music and sports, but when it comes to sports, I think I have a quite long background in competitive swimming. So I think that has formed me very much into who I am today because I spent all my teenage year in the pool, actually. So
Wow.
yeah.
When you mean competitive swimming, like because swimming needs a lot of discipline, as because
Yeah.
I never knew swimming before coming to Finland. I had to go learn as an adult swimming, and I know how hard it is to learn as an adult. But when it comes to kids, I've seen them go early in the morning, like 6 o'clock before school and after school. So if you're into competitive swimming, your weekends are filled with swimming, the weekdays are filled with swimming. So I'm assuming Maria's a really disciplined person. Why swimming?
Yeah, I think so. I'm quite well structured, I think, and the swimming has learned me to prioritize. I think quite a lot, and it's also given me this quite crazy winner's head that I think I have. That might not have its look when in the normal days, but when you really get to know me, I'm real quite competitive when it comes to both sports and competitions. Yeah.
That's really nice. Let's say if I'm in your team and we go out on a team day, I have to look out for you because you don't want me to win.
Yeah.
Lovely,
It's
Maria.
hard not to win because even if it's my employees, I usually wants to win. It's important. Yeah.
Lovely, Maria. And because you're talking about you and your team, is there any turning point in your team with regards to collaboration that made it more effective with working with your team?
Yeah, but I think I had a quite earlier turning point in my career because I had once had a manager that had a quite big mantra in life, and that was that there are no problems, only solutions.
Mm.
And I think that his words have taught me a lot in my teamwork because uh, this has shaped me to be a more positive person and having a positive attitude into problems, I think, and also to other people. And it has created, I don't know if you can call it safe environment for my staff because I'm always this calm person that rely on that the problems is going to come to a solution. So yeah, it's that's made me who I am as a manager, I think, quite a lot.
That's very very nice because like most of the leaders have a profound impact and influence from their own bosses or mentors. So when you said that your mentor, your boss, he said there's only solutions and no problem, it reminds me of my own mentor slash my boss, my previous bosses. What they have said is like, don't come to me with a problem, come to me with a solution. What that means is
Yeah.
like if you have a solution already, it doesn't have to be perfect, bring it to me. So taking this influence and moving forward, how do you make sure you pass on this legacy to a team member who might innately not be that positive? How do you pass the mantra on?
Yeah, because I think as a person I'm very calm even if I have a inner stress. So when I send out this feeling to my employees, I think they also feel, oh, it's okay because Maria isn't stressed out about this. So it's gonna work out, and keep them updated all the time. And I think they feel my calmness. I think that's the most important thing, actually, in my leadership.
How important is emotional safety for Maria? What I mean is like when you go to a meeting, your employees, your people that are working for your team, how important is it for them to say their opinion without having to think what Maria might say or object? Is it very important for you as a leader, the emotional safety of your team members?
Yeah, it is. I want to have a very open environment at my workplace, and you are supposed to say there's not any questions that is not okay to say, even if you think it's that you should know it. It's That's very important for me to for the employees to feel that you can ask anything. There are no dumb questions, actually. So yeah,
That is
it's
very true. And now moving
yeah.
to the pharmacy sector, because with regards to pharmacy, targeting the customers is really, really important. So there are a huge variety of customers with so many different problems and to so many different age categories, right? How does the pharmacies, how do they effectively target the customers?
Yeah, and that, as you say, is a very important thing because we want every customer to have the same experience when you visit us, and regarding if you visit us online or in store. And before I started working as a head of customer service, this was actually my role at Apotek Hjärtat. I worked with the pharmacies so they would have the right stuff at the right time. And I
Mm.
think this is one of the things that made a huge success for Apotek Hjärtat, because we have a very strong that we think that the customer experience is the most important thing. And if you don't have the employees there at the right time, you don't get that
Yeah.
customer experience. So, um,
How
very
do you
important.
ensure there's right people at the right time? Is there a data going on behind saying that this is our peak hour, so we need to have more people at this time? How do you ensure this happens?
Yeah, we ensure that by data, of course. Today we have data on everything. So, of course, we know when our customers visit us, both online and in the store. And I think also one very big thing that happened during COVID was that many of our customers visit us online instead of in the store. And during this time, we utilized the staff at the pharmacies in the right channels. So instead of visiting us in the stores, we needed the personnel to be online. So they worked at the customer service instead, and they worked in our e-commerce. So, and that's something that we held on to because that's a big strength in our company that we can reutilize the
Diversify the
staff to be
resources.
where we need them. Yeah.
And now, because you said that data is really important to make a wise decision on how right people are there at the right time, so now there's a lot of use of AI. Is there any use of AI inside of Apotek Hjärtat that reduces the work or increases the productivity with regards to planning, execution, and customer service?
In customer service, we have quite a little AI at the moment, actually, and that's why we have quite big challenges with the security of our customers' data. So we wanted to have much more AI than we have, but I think we are on the right way.
Yeah,
So it's
that's a
gonna be
really good
better and better.
point.
But right now, it's difficult.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
very good point that you made. Is like because customers' data is with you, and these are sensitive data.
yeah.
So maybe moving forward, that is something like companies like ChatGPT or OpenAI in general, they come up with, uh, corporate solutions that protect the data as well. So that is one of the reasons why I wanted to ask, because you have sensitive data. All right.
Yeah.
So now let's go in a little bit deeper, because as you said, things have changed during COVID, and after COVID, it still remains the same. People are coming and buying stuffs from the pharmacies physically and also online as well. So how do you make sure online and in-person experiences differ?
Yeah, there are a lot of things. The difference between the online customer meeting and an in-store meeting, and the biggest thing that I can remember, number one, is the ability to be personal in the
Mm,
digital channel because um, it's so anonymous online.
yeah,
So here we at Apotek Hjärtat, we have worked enormously to achieve this personal touch, though even though the customer doesn't meet us in person. And this is including the live chat examples.
yeah,
Since we have introduced this during COVID, we have have a possibility to meet the customer in a whole different way. And many of our customers at the pharmacies need very much help when they shop at us. So they need advice to know what to buy. And this has changed the personal touch very lot online today, I think. And the second thing is how you express yourself with the customers.
mm,
When you meet the customer there in store, you can have the opportunity to feel through both speech and body language. But while on the phone or in text, you have to create this
yeah,
ability in a whole different way. And this is something that I work with my employees very much with, that we should have a best practice and they should
yeah.
share with each other. How do you express yourself, and how do we meet this customer in the best way, even in the digital channel?
Can you walk through, because you and I know how this works, but if someone who has no idea about personalization on online, let's assume that I come to your website. How does Apotek Hjärtat make sure it's personalized for me?
It should feel, we always say that it should feels like you walk into a store. So the same feeling that you have walking into a store, you should feel when you walk into our website. So you should feel welcome. You should feel that the campaigns are there for you, and you should feel that someone is there to help you if you need help, and you can also look online. So I think that's the most important thing, that
Yeah.
you feel the same experience regardless on where you visit us.
Yeah, it's good because it connects to the thing that you said earlier, having the right person at the right time. So when I am there
Yeah,
online, if you have a live agent who is going to answer my questions, so they feel more personalized rather than just having a bot. It is good to have a bot, but if they can also have an agent, it's going to make them feel more personalized. Thank you for that. Next,
yeah,
um,
exactly.
because you have physical stores, you have online stores, so it means you need to have an omni-channel approach. How does Apotek Yatat grow using an omni-channel approach?
Yeah, and that's a quite interesting question because the thing, I work at customer service, so of course I have the customers very close to my heart, and I think the most important thing I need to mention is the importance of the customer service in this part, because for an omni actor, customer service is probably the most important department, because
Mm,
here we have the opportunity for a two-way communication with the customer. We got a lot of insights. We know how the service works, which we take act on what we're going to do online or in stores.
yeah,
So it's an incredible strength that we have a a nationwide e-commerce, but we also have these 400 pharmacies that we get another insights, and the customer service is the connection for these
yep,
two, I think. So that's the most important role for us to grow right now, I think. And the second thing is, I think the employees. are very important. You need to get the employees on the train, and the employees in the store are need to be as committed to the e-commerce as anyone others, because we have 3,500 ambassadors in our stores that can get the customer to feel this commitment to
Wow.
both our channels. Yeah, and that's something that, as I mentioned before, we work away a lot with their our employees work in both channels. They work at the e-commerce and they work in the store, so they get an all increased knowledge on the entire company by doing
Yeah,
this.
that's a very good strategy. Like you not only learn more about the business physically, but also you learn soft skills by handling them, online. So that's a really good strategy that Apotek Hjärtat is now handling. So talking
Yeah,
because you've mentioned about the team a lot, like you mentioned about people a lot. So I have
yeah,
a
I
quite
have. But can I just
yeah,
say one thing
go ahead,
more with
please.
the
Go
other
ahead.
channels? Like, yeah, because I think there's one thing that differs Apotek Hjärtat from many other companies, and that's how our organizational structure is based.
Okay.
So instead of having one organization with the e-commerce and one with the stores, we have it under the same organization or the same business area. So we have all sales and customer service during in the same business area, and this gives a very clear ownership on
Yeah,
what we're going to do in the Carmen. And regardless if you visit us in the store or online, you will get the best experience because we are under the same. So I think this is a very good perspective
I
to
agree. I
learn.
agree. And that is how, a forward, fastly growing, a big company thinks a little bit different compared to the others. And that shows why you have 400 outlets. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, getting back to, again, the same topic about people, you're very customer centric, you're very team centric. So, is the structure very important when it comes to team? For example, if I have to put it in simple words, how does a well structured team contribute to a historic win?
Yeah, and that's something that it's hard not to remember the first time I set my foot in the customer service at Apotek Hjärtat. And then I have the role to optimize the staffing.
Mhm.
And when I came into this workplace, I think it was during COVID, everyone was extremely confused. They have increased their um, volumes by 200% in just a couple of weeks. And
Mhm.
they just looked at me and said, what are you doing here? Because you don't know a thing about customer service. And that was actually how I felt because I didn't know anything about customer service when
Mhm.
I stepped in there. But then at that time, it also was something that glowed in me. Oh, this mantra that my manager just hammered into me that there are no problems, only solutions. So that were when I decided me to say, I want this job. I want to be the head of customer service because here I can make a difference
Yeah.
for our customers and the employees. So here, when I got the job 2 months later, we started with the structure. That was number one. Um, and together, during these 3 years, we have built a structure where I think everyone feels valued and they contribute in the way they can best. They all work together and they all have the same goal, satisfied customers. That's the most important thing. And I will say that the results speaks for themselves actually. So we have gone from maybe a queue time for about 15 to 20 minutes
Mhm.
to now we have about 3 minutes instead.
Wow.
So it's fantastic results. And in addition to this, the employees are less stressed. They handle more cases than they did before. So yeah, it's I would say it's the structure is everything.
How did you, because I think it's a huge problem solving, right? When a huge number of queue time has now gone to just 3 minutes or under 3 minutes, what did you solve?
I think I solved what the mission was.
Yeah.
What's everyone, why am I at work, and what do I contribute to Apotek Hjärtat's success? Um, and I think for me, maybe the answer could be simple,
Yeah.
but for them, it was so hard to see what they did and how important they was for the organization. So, and I would say that many customer service employees, they can often feel like they are in the bottom of the food chain. Maybe that's a hard expression, but it
Yeah.
felt like that when I started there. So, and I think that's something that I worked a lot with to let them feel appreciated in the organization and let them know that they have the most important role, and what the difference they can make for Apotek Hjärtat to grow by doing what they do.
Beautiful. You must be a great leader. I want to
Yeah.
work under you. It sounds really nice. Like, because when you said the point that they feel like they are at the bottom of the food chain, and all they needed was appreciation and a mission that says how important their work is. So that is what most of the employees in a company need: the mission of the company and how important they are in contributing for the company's success. Brilliant.
Yeah, and that's something that I also worked a lot with, but to make customer service visible, and play an important role in the company. So they also do it, not only that the employees feel it. That
Mm,
so, and that's something I think I worked at Apotek Hjärtat for almost 13 years, so many knows who I am,
yeah.
and that has been easier for me to set customer service on the map for Apotek Hjärtat, and it has. Oh, it's a long journey, but it has really shown results for
Well,
both our growth and our satisfaction with our customers.
well done, Maria. Well done. I'm just now thinking, like, because you've fixed the mission and because you've made them feel important and they want to succeed. They want the company to succeed. So which comes to the next point that I want to ask you is, like, in order for you to boost the engagement of the customers, is it important to also boost employees engagement? Because it's super customer centric and most of the customers need help. How important, or how does employee engagement boost customer engagement?
Yeah, that is so interesting because I think, just to summarize it in one meaning, a happy team generates a happy customer. That is so important. And as you probably can understand by now when I'm talking, I think the employer's commitment when I started working at customer service was not at its peak. It was very, very low. And um, together with all my group managers, we have worked a lot on this thing as well to make the employees feel valuable and understand their importance. And it's just important. It's just as important to work with the employees as it is to work with the customers, I would say.
Mm.
And just to give a hint of how well we success, even in this topic, our employees are during these 3 years almost 100% more satisfied with their work than they were before. And that reflects the customer as well. We have great NPS figures, and yeah, it speaks for itself, actually.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really nice that you have tracked both the employee engagement and customer satisfaction, and actually you're able to relate why you have more or better NPS score because of better engagement and better or more satisfied employees. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Apotek Hjärtat and Maria is doing a lot of things good, so we could take this forward, and people who are listening to this podcast can definitely take these golden nuggets away. Maria, we are coming almost to the end of our podcast.
Yeah.
There are a couple of things that I want to ask you. The first one is, because you have proved yourself with the mantra, there is no problems, only solutions. And you've made your team members feel like they're not at the bottom of the food chain, they are superstars. And you've clarified the mission of the company so they could contribute even better. But there are people who wants to be head of customer service in the future. Maria might have made some mistakes coming 13 years forward and figuring all of these stuffs. What would be some three mistakes you would want aspiring head of customer service to avoid?
That's a so difficult question because, as you probably know by me now, I am only into solutions, so I don't
Yeah.
see my mistakes. I forget them. But if I have to come up to something, I think something that's very important is not to mention goals as a head topic for the employees. Instead, you should drive the employees based on how important they are, because if they feel important and they feel commitment to do work, the goals will come automatically.
Yeah.
So actually, we haven't worked with the goals a lot at all. I
Right.
only worked with the employees right now. So that's one mistake. I think you shouldn't be just being too much of a boss. So
Mm.
just um, if and I think something that I always want everything to know is that I think I've succeeded with my mission if I'm no longer needed at work. So
Absolutely.
if the business just works fine with not me being there, that's great. Then I'm done. So uh, that's something that I think everyone should go through. You shouldn't be needed, and you shouldn't have to be a boss. The
Yeah.
the employees should do it by yourself. That's important to think of. Um, and the last thing that you shouldn't do is you shouldn't be absent. You have to be at work, and you have to show yourself like one in the team. Um, that's one mistake that I think many do, that you're on the top and everyone is under you.
Mm.
And it comes to when we have a lot of do. I have a pharmacy background, so I'm not afraid to step in to take that customer. And I
Yeah.
think that's important. You have to be a part of the team
Yeah.
uh, for them to feel valuable.
When you mean absent, like for example, if a task is assigned for X, Y, and Z, but you as a boss is available, you'll just jump in and show, hey, this is how it's done. You don't have to
Yeah,
stay back, say, okay, makes sense, makes sense. That's a great quality of a
yeah.
leader. Maria, the last question that I have is this. Because you're a swimmer, you love music, you love sports. If you had to go back a long way, 10 years, 15 years, and restart your career all over again, what would it be?
Oh, this is so tough. But I think I asked myself this a number of times during my career, because when it all comes to an end, I don't work with what I educated myself in, really, because I don't work with pharmacy questions at all, actually,
Yeah.
really. So in quite early in my career, I realized that I'm very passionate about the customer meeting itself,
Yeah.
more than I'm passionate about the pharmacy issues
Yeah.
in particular.
Yeah.
So if I really want to start over my career, I think it would be something particular what I'm doing, but not in the pharmacy business. Something others, but with the customer journey and the customer relationships, because I want to make a difference for a person, and that's the most important thing. And I feel like working with customers, I think I would will make that difference I want to.
Are you are
So
you
maybe that's, yeah,
are you one of these person who gets power from people? Like when you speak to people, when you solve problems for them, do you get these power from them?
yeah, really.
Makes
It
sense.
feels so good inside that I have solved the solution. Yeah, I've come to a solution for someone that had a problem, and I think that's the mantra. There are no problems, only
That's
solutions.
that's. Oh, I'm gonna put this as the title probably. Like there are no
Yeah.
problems, there are only solutions. But Maria, thank you so much for your time, and this was really insightful interview that I had with you. You shed lights on how important is customer service and how important it is to treat your employees as someone that is on the same level as you and not as a boss. And most importantly, clarify the mission of the company to your employees and not set goals, but work with them as team members and motivate them, and they're going to bring the results. So, thank you so much for being a part of our podcast. We really appreciate your time. And for audience, before, yeah, go ahead, Maria.
No, but I would just want to say thank you as well. It's when you talk like this, you realize how passionate you are about your work, and it feels great to share it with others.
And we
So I
could feel
hope
it,
it's
like
share a
your
lot of insight
passion when
for
you're
that.
talking about people, we could totally feel it. And we from Kiosk, we wish you all the best and uh, keep encouraging your employees and keep winning more milestones and keep being as awesome as you are. And for our
Thank you.
viewers, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in depth discussions on the digital customer experience. Drop us a comment below with your thoughts and any questions that you might have for Maria or our future guests. Until next time, stay curious, keep innovating. This is Daniel Paul from Kiosk.